I'm going to wash my Model Y, and there's several different ways of washing your car, one of which is a 2-bucket method. I don't use that. I've always used one of these, a nice high pressure sprayer. What I do it in a few stages, wet the car down, get rid of the surface grime, then I put the soap on it, wipe any really dirty areas down, and then get rid of the soap. You've got to be careful using a high pressure sprayer like this when you've got PPF on it, because if you get into where the join is, or the edge of a PPF, it can actually start to lift it up. So you've got to be careful using a high pressure sprayer near a join. So you don't go in close, you stand back a bit. So the first thing I'm going to do, I'm just going to wet the car down. And then after I've wet it down, I like to go over with the high pressure hose to get some of the surface grime off. You can get in close on the windows. As I said, be careful going near. There's a join just here and so on, and there's some dirt on there. That's about as close as you really want it. But now I want to get the surface grime off, because if you start rubbing, you get a bit of grime, mark, dirt, you get those swirls. So I always go in a straight line rather than a circular motion. It doesn't matter so much with the PPF, but you still got to be careful. So I have had this parked under some trees over the last 3 days, and there's been a lot of bird poo on it. So I always soak it down, then I try and get most of that off before I put on the soap. So having finished with this, I change it to this. Having finished with this, I usually leave this to rest for 5 minutes to let that soap get in, and then I go back to this. But first I like to wipe down where I know it's particularly grubby, which is usually the lower half all the way around the back and the front, because I've been driving in the evening and I've got quite a few dead insects on the front. Remember, no circular motion, straight movements. The back always gets a lot of road grime on it. So having used the high pressure spray twice before I put the soap on, I've got rid of just about every mark on the glass. So I've wiped this down. You can go circular motions if you've got PPF, but otherwise do straight lines, otherwise you won't get the swirls on. Now I can get rid of the soap. So before I go and dry the car, I've got a very nice large microfiber cloth here, I just walk over just to make sure I haven't missed any bits at all. I did notice one on the other wing mirror, and I picked that off. Right, so the beauty of this is it takes the whole dirt from the car and the water from the car, and I just have to wipe over and it just soaks it up. So when you're drying with a big cloth, don't drag it in the dirt, because then you'll get dirt stuck on it and you run the risk of scratching the paintwork. So I've just noticed there's a couple of bits of bird whatevers on the headlight and so on that didn't come off, so you just need to wipe those down a little bit and they'll come off. So look, a cloth this size means I don't have to keep wringing it out. It's still got a heap of absorbability there. So now, having been around the outside and dried the car, I go around it once more just to make sure that I've left no yucky marks and no streaks from the water. Couple of insects got left there. Right, now my next step is to use this damp towel to do the inside. So doing the inside, window, door, wipe all the surfaces down. Now we've got to do the inside bit of the door, which is where the water runs down. Here at the step where the word Model Y is. Now this gets particularly grubby, certainly on my wife's side, because she won't lift her feet up. So there's always marks on here and then here where she brings in a handbag and she literally does scratch this surface. I've had words, but it's pointless. Don't forget, about once a week, just wipe the white seats down, your black ones as well, with a damp microfiber cloth. Now, I've just noticed a bit of bird poop on the windscreen, so I'll go and get that. And do the same for the inside of the back door. I had my 2 greyhounds in the back and they slobber all over it. So the the window glass is covered in slobber. The door and the door handle . So I like to give that a good clean, try and get all the slobber off. And then, don't forget, clean the metal bit inside and across the bottom. And then we've got the inside of the door. Bit more slobber. Thought I had it covered. Oh well. Don't forget the back of the white seats. The back of the seats and your white seats in the back. And doing the other side, need a good wet bit for cleaning off the dog slobber, because they do like to look out the windows. This back seat, the back of this headrest and white bits. So then I like to wipe down the inside of the boot, the metal, because it gets a bit dusty and then the water runs down. Don't forget, back of the seats. And then the boot lid. One side. And the other. And then just bring it down a bit and do in the under bit here, because that's where a lot of road dust gets put. So that's it for the back. We'll now go down to the front. So I'll do the same with the front, and there's a lot of soapy water has collected in here. Fortunately, this large towel will just soak it all up. And always when you close the door, the window goes up. There's always a bit of wetness gets on there. So now I walk around the car again, just to check that I've got it all nice and clean. So there we have it. That's how I clean my car. You just got to be careful with a high pressure hose and do wipes in straight lines, not in circles. Then you won't get that swirling. Unless you've got PPF, it doesn't matter. So sometimes I am wiping and I do a little circle, but with PPF, it's fine. So, hope you enjoyed that. Don't forget, can you click that like and subscribe button below? That will be really nice. And look in the description, there's a few links there, and I'll see you all very soon.